Hey guys, so this is my spoiler discussion and review of Crooked Kingdom. I did a non-spoiler review where I didn't spoil anything, and now I'm here to do the spoilers. This is going to be more discussion than a review. But if you haven't seen the review, my grade of this book is 8.9 out of 10 because it spoils the Grisha trilogy, and I haven't read the Grisha trilogy, and it spoiled the Grisha trilogy. And just to reiterate what I said in my non-spoiler review, I had looked up everywhere to see if Crooked Kingdom spoils the Grisha trilogy, and everywhere said it didn't, and I didn't find anything on it. And the fact that Leigh Bardugo herself said Six of Crows doesn't spoil anything, so I'd assumed that Crooked Kingdom wouldn't have such spoilers, but it did, so that was nice. I was annoyed throughout the whole book. I was skipping pages whenever they mentioned the bloody characters, and then they actually came into the story, and I was like, really? Why you do this to me? I think the plot could have been fine without them. I don't think they needed to be there. I don't think whatever the heck they're called, Genya or Nenya, I don't know. I don't think they needed to be in the story to make it work, personally. But whatevs, they did. But like I said in my non-spoiler review, when I read Grisha Trilogy, I'm going to reread these, and I, without a doubt, would probably appreciate this book way more, because that was really the only thing that made me annoyed about it, was that it spoiled way too much. It just had too many spoilers in it, and I was like, why? The other thing that I also didn't really like about the book was just how there was so many plot points. It was the first bit when they were getting Inej, I loved that part. It was good. But at some points I was like, is this the plot of the whole book? Because it's going on for a while, you know? But it wasn't, which was good. But I was just kind of getting annoying how they do something and then they were foiled again by Jan Venek. There wasn't an overall plot like how there was in Six of Crows, where the end plot thing was the heist, whereas with this, their overall theme was getting revenge back on Jan Van Eyck. But there wasn't an actual plan, because they kept getting foiled every time they tried to do something, and I was like, are you serious? It just keeps happening and happening, and it was just plot after plot of different things happening, and then I at some point was quite confused on what the hell was going on, especially towards the end, middle bit, when they decided to sell QA, or however you say his name, I don't know. That was a bit confusing when they were planning that. I was like, so what are we doing now? So we're selling him now because he's got rights, and they're trying to get the Grisha people to buy him and the king to buy him. Okay, those little bits were a bit weird because we were left out again, I suppose, of what was happening. Sometimes they wouldn't tell you what was happening, and then you found out what was happening when the characters did the stuff, if that makes sense. But yeah, I found myself a bit confused with the plot because it kept jumping around a lot. And wait a goddamn minute, I just realised, did they ever explain what those weird people were with the weird contraptions in them? They defeated them, I think, all of them. They were the shoe, weren't they? The shoe were experimenting. What was the dealio with those? Why were they there? I also, just to get out everything that I wasn't a fan of in this book, the White Blade assassin lady, I didn't like how weirdly she appeared. She just literally appeared out of nowhere, and she's better than Inej, which makes bloody sense. Inej, yes, she's the sneakiest sneaky ever. She can hide very well, it's good, but when you are up against a crazy assassin, you probably aren't going to be the best. So I actually liked that Inej didn't beat her, because it shows some realistically she probably wouldn't have, because she wasn't taught by, I don't know, she didn't go to an assassin school, and Inej taught herself how to do stuff, and Kaz helped. Now I'm starting to think that the White Blade is actually in the Grisha trilogy, or she's mentioned. And that would mean she's another Easter egg for the fans of the Greaser trilogy, which isn't bad. But if she's not, she came out of nowhere. Like, I would have liked to have her been mentioned. Like, someone says something like, oh, apparently there's like a crazy assassin, or like stupid, what's his face, Pekka Rollins has something up his sleeve, an assassin apparently. Like, they hear something about it, so when she appears, you're like, oh, it's her. That's who they're talking about, huh? Instead of her just appearing out of the blue and being like, I'm the one who knows where you live because I've been following you. Well, she doesn't talk like that, I would assume. I don't know, she just appeared, and then she was so easily killed, but I liked that she died, because I was like, yeah, that's right. Evil. Haha. I mean, she was entertaining, but she just seemed very sudden. And I was like, oh, what? You just introduced, like, another villain in the middle of the story. Okay. But like I said, it's just kind of funny how easily she died. Like, I was like, okay, bye then. That's what you get for messing with Inej. Another thing I'm going to talk about is Matthias. Now, I was spoiled by that. Before I even read Six of Crows, I remember, like, it's not even that I look up spoilers. They just appear because I'm on Bookstagram. Some people just take photos of, like, the chapter of one character dies, and before it's too late, you've seen it and you've spoiled yourself, or like people have it in the first thing of the caption and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe, and it's like, well, thanks for that. Side note, don't do that if you're someone who does that. Like, it does not take long for a person to read something when they see it for the first, like, you know, like, you read something and then before too long you've been spoiled. So if you're someone who does that, don't do it. It's annoying. But that was before I even read Six of Crows. What I had saw was someone was like, oh my god, I feel so sorry for Matthias. And then I was like, oh, is he gonna die? And so throughout Six of Crows, I was like, oh god, I think he's gonna die. But then Nina got Yerda Param. And then I thought, oh, maybe that when they said, I feel so sorry for Matthias, was because Nina dies. So I then thought that. And then when that stupid kid pops up in Crooked Kingdom, I was like, nah, it's Matthias. He's the one that's gonna die. I still got very sad though. I was still quite sad. There is a lady outside. Can she see me? I'm not weird. My stuff is propped up against my window, by the way. People can see in. Just me sitting at the window, just gazing out. But yeah, I still found it sad, especially when he stumbles back and he's having, like, he thinks he's back on the ice and he's like, I'm so glad you're safe. And I'm like, oh, Matthias, stop. But other than that, Matthias didn't seem like such a big character to me. Don't at me, okay? Seriously. But, like, he was a good character, not gonna lie, but I didn't feel attached to him. Like, he was okay. Same thing with Nina. I like Nina and I like Matthias, but they were characters that I wasn't like, oh my god, I love them. Like, I liked Jesper and Wylan more than those two. You get what I mean? I just wasn't, I don't know. The other characters just seemed a bit, like, they spoke to me more than those two did. And I was more excited about the other characters' plots than Nina and Matthias's. But don't get me wrong, I still like them. Just not as much as the others. And also, I didn't know that they hadn't kissed yet. And when they did kiss, I wasn't like, oh my god. I was just kind of like, wait, I thought they had. Like, I was so confused. I was like, I thought they had kissed before. And then afterwards, like, obviously that's cute that had happened. But, like, I was like, I thought they had already. Like, why are we making such a big deal out of it? Now, to things that I do like about this book. Oh my god. Okay. Wylan and Jesper. We all knew it was gonna happen. I was ready for it. It was good. When he's in the piano, playing the piano, and Jesper thinks it's Wylan, in my head I was like, I just had like a brief thought of like, he's not playing a proper note and he's also not saying anything. I don't think that's Wylan. And then I was like, oh, I was right, it wasn't Wylan. Okay. They're like my favourite couple. those two are like my favourite characters from the books. I love them so much. They're such a fun duo, and like the comedy part, I suppose, and they're just written so well, and I loved it. And you get so much more background on Jesper as well, which I really liked. And the same with Wylan too. You get more background character on those two characters, and I loved that. And the fact that Wylan has his home, and he has his house, and he has his mum, I was like, yes, everything's coming up Wylan. So I'm happy it all worked out for him. This had a good ending, actually, this book. It had a very nice ending, and I'm so happy that it did. But I'll go into that later. Kaz and Inej. I am glad. Well, I'm not glad, but I am okay with the fact that they didn't become super duper duper romantic. You know, the bathroom scene when he's like fixing her bandages and stuff, and when he almost kisses her. It's so drawn out in the book, but in reality, it was probably like this, you know, like this is Inej, this is Kaz. It was probably like this. Like it would have happened like that, you know, whereas in the book, it would have been dragged out more, but in reality, it probably was a very quick thing. I like that scene because it was showing vulnerability to Kaz. Like, he was trying so hard to help Inej, and he was just so disgusted of touching her skin, but he was also so, like, into it because he likes her so much. Well, not into it, but he was, like, you know, disgusted at the thought, but he was also like, oh my god, I'm so close here. You feel sorry for him, but you also love it because it's like, oh my god, the first time, like, any type of romantic stuff between them's happening, but it's also like, I'm so sorry, Kaz, it's okay. And then he gets so mad afterwards, which I mean, I guess, like how he gets so angry, and he's like, well, stuff you, I'm going, peace out, you know, like, whatever, because, like, he has to guard himself, because he can't physically touch people. He can't because of his phobia. Like, he can't do it. PTSD. He keeps thinking about dead bodies. It's not good. So I feel for him. It's really sad, but I'm glad he's taking steps. And speaking of taking steps, the end scene where he's not wearing gloves. Like, he's taking such small steps, and I love that. It shows character development so much, although I will probably miss the gloves. Like, the gloves make Kaz, but I love that part where, like, he wasn't wearing them, and I'm like, this is beautiful. And then the end, when Inej's parents arrive, I was legit crying out of happiness. That scene, I was in tears. I was crying out of happiness. I was so happy for Inej. I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Like, it was such a beautiful ending, and that ending made everything that happened in the book go away. Like, my thoughts about the spoilers were just out the window. I was like, I don't care, because this ending was the most beautiful thing I've seen in my entire life. Like, that was the best ending I've ever read. Like, oh my god, I did not care about the spoilers at all. It was just so beautiful. Like, oh my god. And then when, you know, and they go to meet them together, and he's like, does my tie look straight? And I'm like, oh, stop it. Like, it was a very sweet moment, and I loved it so much. And I got so sad when I finished it. I was like, I'm not going to read these characters ever again. Like, as far as I know, they're not going to show up, except for Nina. I'm pretty sure she's 100% in King of Scars. I think that's the book about Nikolai. I'm not sure. So she, I definitely think, is going to be in there. But I mean, at least she gets to go back, you know. And at least Nina gets to bury Matthias where he belongs. I also think Inej is literally one of my favourite characters, female characters of all time. I feel like we have similar personalities. I don't know. She was just like a different type of character, and I don't know, I just really love Inej. Like, she is amazing. You know, like, we got more of what happened with her at the menagerie. I don't know. But, like, you know, it was kind of alluded to what happened, but then we actually find out what did happen, and it's horrible. When she's with Kaz, she's like, we are the two dangerous people in the entire, like, Ketterdam, but we can't even stand physical touch. One step at a time, it's okay. Like, it was just, it's sad, but I'm so glad she got to be with her parents. Seriously, that was the best moment ever, and I'm so happy for her. And like I said, and Kaz is like taking the small steps. Kaz would just like blink out and edge because it's like, it's for her own good. I'll just be a liability for her. But little did he know that she likes him. I just loved it. The ending to this book was great. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. If you have any comments or whatever, any discussions, please comment down below. But don't mention anything about Grisha trilogy. Like, yes, I know I was spoiled big time, but I'm trying to forget what I had read. I don't want to know. I'm trying to forget it, so when I read them, I can at least be a bit shocked, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again soon. Goodbye!